And we're live. That's great. Here we go. This is the pre-show. My baby does the hanky panky. My baby does the hanky panky. Tommy James and the Shondells. My baby does the hanky panky. 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 My baby does the hanky panky now. I saw her walking on down the line. You know, I saw her for the very first time. A pretty little girl standing all alone. Hey, pretty baby, can I take you home? I never saw her, no, I never saw her, no. My baby does the hanky panky. 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 My baby does the hanky panky now. That's Tommy James and the Shondells. How about that? It's kind of funny. I got a chance to play with them in a big combined concert up in Chicago about 10 years ago or something, part of their group. And I remember that song. Thank you. We're live. This is the Buyers and Sellers Show. I'm Jay Skinner. And yes, through all this, I do have eyes. How about that? What happened, I just discovered here, is that these are some old glasses because my glasses got broken a couple weeks ago, and I'm wearing these till I find some new cool ones. And I didn't realize, whoa, look at people are calling me on the phone. There we go. I didn't realize that these have all this shine. And so I've got a screen here, a screen here, a screen here, a screen here, another screen here. Oh my gosh. And so what do I get? I get a bunch of glare right here. So that's what's happening there. And when I get new glasses, I'm going to get the anti-glare things going. It'll be great. Anyway, it's so nice to have you today. Today we're going to talk. I got a lot of ground to cover. Oh my gosh, I got a lot of ground to cover in 30 minutes. And so I might be talking a little fast, but I want to get it in there and give you a chance to take some notes, see what you need to do, and go back and review as you need to. And of course, you can go to my website, thejskinner.com, thejskinner.com, and do more about me and find out about fill in and find my contact information, whatever you need to do there. We can sure connect. Most of you are connected to me through LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. Right now we're simulcasting on all of those using a software called StreamYard, and I'm doing the production here. And by the way, if you comment here, I'm very interested to have your comments. I want you to speak up, talk, let me know you're here, and let's be part of the conversation. That sure makes it more interesting. So you're going to build your business using a vertical target market strategy. How do you determine, if this is the right thing for you? Well, I really think for most people, a vertical market strategy like that is better than a horizontal one. When I talk about markets, I'm talking about industries generally. I'll be very specific if I'm thinking about, let's say, geography. A lot of times when people are talking about markets, they're talking about geography. And in this case, and in my case, when I'm talking most of the time, it's about particular industry segments. So that's important. And one of the things is that if you can become an expert to a few industries that you serve, then you will develop a reputation that will precede you with those industries, and cool things can happen. Now, I've got a sneeze, so forgive me when I do that. Excuse me. Oh my gosh. Give me about that. Anyway, are you a productivity and efficiency expert to the industries that you serve? That's an important part. Does the internet and Google, other search engines recognize you for that too? When you serve the customers that you're familiar with and help them be more successful, I promise you it'll come back to you. Now, next week, I'm headed for a trade show in Orlando. How about you? Now, a lot of you are from the corrugated industry, and I'm sure I'll be seeing you. And I really appreciate you coming by. And want to make sure there's some comment. Look at this. Let's see who's there. Hello, Sharon Skinner. Good morning. Good to see you. Excellent. How are you? Glad you came by. Ron Goodwin. Good morning. Riches in the riches. All right. Thanks for coming. And I'm going to post a little comment. I'm just going to say, hey, post here. So if you make it easy for you to spot where to post, and then I can recognize you and say hello. Should be able to see it from right there. Anyway, now I unashamedly and very actively am traveling now. Last week you were here for the Charlotte Live, and if you didn't see that and had a chance to be in North and South Carolina last week and do some business in the pallet plastics industry business, and that was very cool. And then at the same time, got to visit with one of my mentors and friends, Jeffrey Gittimer, and he made pancakes for me at his house, and that was very cool. Getting myself in the position to talk to people who can say yes. That's what I'm doing within the industries that I know and that I can serve the best. So, for instance, if you were going to say, look at your customer list and decide, okay, where are the majority of your customers? What particular industry are you serving the most? What would that be? Now, you may get lucky and say, oh my gosh, it's like 80% of them are in a particular industry. And then it helps you with your target market idea and the idea of vertical marketing. And, oh, did I mention what your duck looks like? So this is real important. This is an analogy that you probably stay with you. That if you were going to go duck hunting, you need to know what a duck looks like. Otherwise, you might hit a chicken or an eagle or a sparrow or a pigeon. You need to understand that it's got a bill and it has these characteristics and those. You need to understand the characteristics of what your duck is like so that you don't shoot the wrong kind of birds or hang out in the wrong spot. It's kind of like waiting for your ship to come in while you're standing at the bus station. Not going to happen. Okay. So let's say, for instance, you looked at your business and said, oh my gosh, we seem to be selling a lot to the doorknob industry, people that make doorknobs. Well, then what should you do? Well, with a vertical target market strategy, you need to join the Doorknob Association. You need to go to the doorknob show. You need to get to know the movers and shakers in the doorknob industry worldwide and let them know that you're real familiar with their industry. You've served a lot of people in it. So what's that mean to them? That means that when they meet you, they don't need to explain how they make doorknobs. They don't need to explain how they go to market. They don't need to explain their business in general. So you're already ahead. You walk in and there's a great familiarity. I mean, think about it. When it comes to, doing business with people, aren't you more comfortable with a professional that knows about it, about your situation? From the beginning, he has a track record of success working with people in similar situations. That kind of comfort level is super valuable. And so the way you get that, and you may say, well, I work with doorknob people, but I don't know anything about them. Well, get to know them. Go in there and say, look, we need to go check our products. And while you're there, we want to get to know and understand what you're doing better. Get smarter. Make sure that everybody in your business is getting smart and that you're teaching this as part of company meetings. So when the doorknob folks call, everybody knows about it and they're familiar. Now, you may be making just a little piece that's part of that, but you need to know what happens before your piece is involved or your machine is involved, and you need to know what's going on afterwards and get so good at it that they will call you to ask you questions about what other problems they have. Now, think about this. Wouldn't it be cool that if you were so good at understanding your target market that when you went to visit, you walked in and the conference room, let's say the owner of the company invited you over, and you walk into the conference room and it's full of all his managers from his manufacturing area. Wow. And there's a whiteboard and a pen. And he looks at you and you're just part of, you make parts or you supply them some things for their factory, just a little piece of what they do. But he hands you the pen. He says, we're going to be building a new factory in the next 6 months. What are your recommendations? Has nothing to do with what you're selling and everything to do about the true value that you bring as a vendor. And that's how you set yourself apart in the industries that you serve. Now, all of a sudden, you're known as a productivity and efficiency guy to the industries that you serve. And you've spent the time not only selling, dealing, and providing your product and making sure it's great and wonderful and the customer service is perfect and you have tremendous customer loyalty, that's over satisfaction. But you understand enough by walking through the plants over a long period of time, asking questions and taking a genuine interest in what they're doing, that you can actually speak to their industry and how to do things better. Of course, not giving away confidential information. So as I talk about this, and all of a sudden you're in different factories and different businesses all over the country or all over the world, as was the case for me and is the case for me. Everyone knows that when I walk out, I forget what I saw. If there's something going on in all the plants and everybody's seeing, that's common knowledge. It's no big deal. I go to the trade shows and I meet different vendors and I understand how things fit. But if you see something that you've never seen before at some guy's plant, you can build a lot of credibility simply by saying, well, I'll be forgetting that when I leave. That's beautiful. You don't need a document signed to be trusted, and you shouldn't need it. You need to know when you're looking at something special that doesn't need to be talked about. But if you get that reputation as being the person that they can call and ask questions about, or when you visit, you can walk through the plant and make suggestions, then I will say, like when I was in the plastic pallet industry with Stratus, which I was part of helping get started in 1993, and we built a international multi-million-dollar plastic pallet company to specific target markets. I could say, well, if as a result of our work together, you need some of these pallets that I sell, please buy them from me because the kids need shoes. Or later it was, please buy them from me because the grandkids need bikes. But selling my stuff was how I get paid and how they keep me around. But it was almost incidental to the reason for my visit or for our time together, because the reason for my time with my clients and with our customers was to just be there to help them be more successful, whatever it took. They knew it, they appreciated it, and great things happened. And that's the way it is today. So now I'm sure many of you say, that sounds like a very smart idea. And really, probably more of you say, I already do that. Okay, great. So let's test it. See how you already do. And probably one of the best ways to test it is simply by Googling it. And we're gonna do that right here, just for fun. We're gonna have some fun. And I'm gonna share my screen. Hit share screen. There we go. Go over here to that screen right there. I'm going to share audio in case there's something good going on there, but I doubt if there will be. There we go. And there's the screen right there, and we're on the Google. And let's just do something fun. What I would challenge you to do for your own company is type in the name of your target market industry that you serve. And then type in the name of the products that you sell into that industry. And see if your company name comes up or your personal name comes up, if your business is around yourself and your name. So we're going to try it right now. Let's just try one, and we're going to Google the word printers. Okay. And then the next space, we're going to do pallets, which, see what happens. Boom. And there I am. And then let's go to the first non-paid ads. And look at that. There it is, pallets.com, shopsnydernet.com. It happens to be a company I was with for over 25 years. Pallets.com, the brand is Stratus. Snydernet.com owns Stratus now since 2012, and I was part of that acquisition, and I did that until 2018. But number one, and so Stratus Plastic Pallets is known for providing pallets to printers, specialized, highly engineered plastic pallets. And they're coming up in organic search number one. That's pretty darn good. Okay, let's try another one. Let's type air conditioners. How about that? Air conditioners. You can see I already did some testing. Residential, Indianapolis. And let's see who shows up there. And I look over here. Now go past the ads. These people are paying for, through pay-per-click, paying for top position, but you know better. Let's see who's really out there. And number one in air conditioners, residential, Indianapolis is Williams Comfort Air. And I happen to know that company, and they're a really cool company, and they just do residential, not commercial. They just do residential. Now, a lot of people, if you took residential out of there, then all of a sudden you get a big pop on lots more stuff. But number one organic is Williams Comfort Air. They are known as specialists in residential HVAC here in the Indianapolis area. Now, does someone have another example? If you go into comments and you're in a business that is similarly positioned, and you want to share your Google search results or give me a couple words, I would love to type them in and show them right here as part of this show and tell. I love show and tell. So feel free to make comments about this. How do you know that you really are regarded as a top person in the industries that you serve? This is a great way to start. The other way is if you're in the association, you go to the trade shows and you're part of it, make sure you're well known. And then they're asking you to speak, not just about your product, not a big sales pitch, but about what happens a little bit before, during, and after implementation of your product in the factories and businesses that you serve. Become well known. So when someone says, Stratus pallets, and thinking about those printers pallets, or Jay Skinner, and they remember me because I was very much associated with that over the years. Or you're thinking about buyers and sellers and productivity and efficiency, overall business and marketing help, active consulting. That might be Jay Skinner. That's the idea. Are you in that position? Is it happening for you? Very interested. If you have any, want to post up any ideas here and thoughts about you or your company. Are you dominating the industries that you serve? So that's a big deal. Are you dominating the industries that you serve? Now, that brings me to the show next week. And I'm just going to flip over here because this is a big deal. And I'm going to be going to the Super Core Expo, which is a vertical. And remember, horizontal is, it could be like geographic and all different types of businesses and everything. It's very generalized. Vertical is very specific to, and in this case, live in Orlando, we're going to have the International Super Core Expo show. And this is serving the corrugated industry. In this case, I'll be working in the KPI Incorporated booth. And KPI is known for selling belts that go on corrugator machines and knives and industrial contracting. And, it's like, well, let's just see. I don't know. Let's see what it's to help. I'm involved with KPI. Love those guys. It's excellent. And I've been part of them for years and helping them to draw in more customers. So just for fun, if we were to type in, I'm going to put in what they sell, the way they do it. Let's see what happens. Let's go back over to here. Kind of be fun. Boom. This. And boom. Now I'm going to look in here and oh my gosh, organic results right here, corrugated box. This is what they sell. And it comes out number one. That's where you want to be when people type the industry and then the stuff you sell. Are you known? Can they get it by Google? That's a great first place. And if you don't know how to get that to happen, that'd be a good reason to call me. We'll work on that along with some other stuff. How does your web position stack up? It's part of your reputation in doing vertical marketing. And the other part is, can you imagine if you went to a trade show and you were the only one selling what you sell in that industry? Yeah. I mean, think about that. If you made the specialized screws in the doorknob industry that go into them and they all need, and it's very specialized for guys that make doorknobs, and you were going to the doorknob show, who knows? You might be the only particular screw maker at that show. You never know. Where if you went to the machine and manufacturing and assembly show, it would be horizontal and everybody from every industry would be there and you'd be all lined up with your competitors that don't understand vertical target marketing. I'll tell you, I've been to many trade shows where I was the only guy at that show serving that industry, and the line was long of people interested to know and understand what we know and how we can help them be more successful. You can do that too. This is how we talk. This is how we do it right here. So I'm just interested here to see. Oh, you know what? I met a guy yesterday who's become is like certain people you become friends just now. And look at this. How about this? Sounds like a good idea, huh? Don't drive naked. Well, what's that all about? Well, what's that? And he gave me this shirt. It's an awesome shirt. He's got a brand that's out of this world. Let's just go take a look at his thing. His name is John Wiley. And Don't Drive Naked is the name of his company that he created from something he'd been doing it for years, but in 2007, 2008, he decided to further differentiate himself in his market. And so look at this, gets people's attention, and look at these beautiful wraps that are on these cars and what he's doing there. Huh. Look at that. Solar happens to be another one of my clients. That's cool. Did you know that if you wrap your car or your van, even if you're leasing it, it actually protects the paint? And so when you're getting ready to sell it or give it back to the leasing company, it's like brand new. I didn't know that till yesterday. What an awesome idea. So if you want the awesomest, most fun, professional wrapped cars, like this so you can see this. Vehicles for your business. Type in "don't drive naked." I know you won't forget that. And get a hold of John Wiley and his company. And he happens to be a really, really smart target marketer. And look at these beautiful things that he's put up. So I wanted to make sure that you had a chance to know him and know about this company, because sometimes probably the thing I didn't know was that you could do this and it would just like be great for the car and the paint. That was probably my favorite part to learn. So John Wiley, if you're watching, thank you for coming. And those of you can look at it, you need your vehicles wrapped, he'd be a great place to go. High quality for many, many years. And I want to wrap today up with this idea. One is, how does your web position stack up? Are you a recognized expert in your target markets? I mean, it's like if you're a widget peddler, it's very hard to differentiate yourself amongst your customers and your potential customers. If you're a productivity and efficiency guy to the widget industry and you understand especially how that industry works, and you part of the association, you go to the trade shows and you give and you give and you give, they will appreciate it and they will reward you with sales, because that's how you make your money. They understand that. And that's how they keep you around. And you're valuable. Or are you? Please be valuable. According to Zig Ziglar, it's far better to be a meaningful specific than a wandering generality. Let me say it again. It's far better to be a meaningful specific than a wandering generality. What are you? Well, let's see. Are there any other comments? Hey, look, there we go. Ron Goodwin, t-shirts. Oh, let's do it. Let's do it here, Ron. I'm going to do Ron Goodwin and t-shirts. And let's put the screen up. Got to do that. We'll have some fun here. I'd like to play live show and tell. How cool is that? Boom, share. Let's all look together. Okay, Ron Goodwin, t-shirts. Boy, I tell you what, it's always crazy when you don't know what you're going to get. Boom, it's there. What do we got? About us at Goodwin Graphics. Look at this. #1, multiple places in organic search. Ron Goodwin, you're known for t-shirts. Good man. Awesome. Thank you very much. Let's see. Hey, John Wiley, thank you for the mention. Enjoyed having you as a guest in our shop. John, I loved it too. It was so much fun to be there, understand how you've done. And then as I get more and more into understanding who you are and what you've done, you are a world-class marketing guy and sales guy. And from a product standpoint, you don't know anything but awesome. I mean, listen, there's not a speck of dirt in his plant. It is beautiful. When you walk in there, you want them to cover your car so you won't be driving naked either. How fun is that? Great. Thank you, John, for stopping by. Good to see you. Ron, thanks for coming. Everybody, thanks for coming. It's been a great day. And this was a good show. I hope you learned something. Comment, call me, whatever. If something strikes like familiar to you and wonderful, and you think it's something you want to know more about, go to thejskinner.com, call me, get in touch. I'd be glad to talk to you. But I want to see you be more successful. And remember the silver rule: buyers and sellers, do unto your vendors how you want your customers to do unto you. God bless. See you next week, 10:35. I'll be there. Hope you are too. Well, I'm going to Orlando. Orlando, here I come. Wow. Well, I'm going to Florida. Florida, here I come. They got some crazy little corrugators, and I'm gonna be with some. Whoa! See you next week. Thanks for coming. Bye now.